speaker. He's a very successful businessman. What I like and respect about him most is he's a humanitarian. He devotes a lot of his time and money to really great causes, educating kids about the danger of drugs, character building groups, and anyway, we're really happy to have you here. And
thank you, Randy. All right, it's nice to meet you guys. This is the guy who builds a Shelby Cobra from the ground up. Give him a hand.
I'll be here all day.
So just so you know, my dad was a skilled lathe hand in Detroit and used to build parts for rockets and tanks and stuff, but what he loved was working on cars, and so he would take junkers off the side of the road and bring them home. They were $10, he'd buy them and he'd fix them all up and sell them, and that was his thing for 40 years. No, not 40 years, 30 years. He died young on a motorcycle, but he was always like my idol for perfection, because here was a guy who went through 9th grade in school but became a skilled lathe hand, and he literally was magic with cars. Like he would go in and he'd always find the thing that was wrong, the one thing that was wrong, and he would turn this piece of crap on the side of the road into this beautiful machine that people, when they had one of Al's cars, they're like, oh, this is mine now, because we know it'll run forever. Like he literally put life into the cars. And so I became a nuclear engineer, chased Russians in 1985 in the Cold War. Then I was like, I don't want to be an engineer, I want to talk to people. I was stuck inside a submarine for 90 days underwater. That'd be like you coming here, closing these garage doors and staying in here for 90 days with the same people. Yeah, it's really hard. So I met this Russian dude in 2011 when I was doing a sales seminar in Russia, in Moscow. And I was telling a story about how I chased Russians all over the oceans, and I never caught any until that day, and they thought that was funny. And I was up by Murmansk. I was chasing Russians under the North Pole, and if you've seen the movie Hunter Killer with Gerard Butler, that's right what I was doing. I was under the ice packs, waiting for Russian submarines to come out of Murmansk, which is like right next to the North Pole. So then I chased them all the way down around England. We went around England a couple of times. We went into the Mediterranean. And then I got out of the Navy, and I thought, oh man, I don't want to do this anymore. And I became a salesman, which, I thought salesmen were liars, cheaters, and thieves. And that all salesmen lie as the way to manipulate people into doing something they don't want to do. That was my definition of a salesman until I was about 28 years old. And then I looked around, and the salesman made more money than everybody else made, including nuclear engineers. I was like, wait a minute, I'm a nuclear engineer, I got 18 years of school, and what? And my pay is going to be like this forever? And I said no, and I became a salesman, but I swore I would only sell things that were of high enough quality that I would give it to my grandma or my family, or I would use myself. So that was my motto for sales. So if it's a good product, I sell it. When we wrote the book, and I'll tell you, this book actually, the 55 advices were written by the Russian guy who, when he got out of the Navy, trained salesmen. So I've been training salesmen for over 30 years. And so was he, and I thought, but you're Russian. The Russians are different than everybody else. He goes, well, can you co-author this book with me? And I said, well, let me see it first. And it was just this little tiny book, and it was really dry. It was just advices, and it was in Russian, so I couldn't even read it. We got it translated. I start reading the advices, and I look at this guy, and I go, you think every thought is exactly what my thought has been for all this time in sales. I was like, wow, that's weird. So then I said, okay, good, I'll co-author the book. So I took all the advices and I put stories into them so that it would be more interesting. Now, Randy wanted me to go over this first advice. So it may not be what you would think would come from a sales guy, but this is it. And advice number 1 is believe, and then you'll see. So, love, duty, honor, beauty, harmony. Okay, I thought we were talking about sales.
Yeah.
Okay, so love, duty, honor, beauty, harmony. These qualities do exist in life, because if it wasn't true, then life would be a sad and dreary prospect. These ideals and their manifestations do exist in life, and those who want to see them do, whenever and wherever they look. Now, these qualities exist whether you believe in them or not. It's like gravity exists whether you choose to believe it or not. So if you jump off a building, say, I don't believe in gravity, and then you end on the floor, okay, now you are gone, so you don't believe anymore. So the principle is believe and then you'll see. So if you believe in duty and honor and beauty, the higher level of existence, if you believe in it, then you'll see examples of it around the world, where you see people that would help somebody else. You see someone that takes, your hometown and they make a beautiful picture and they turn it into art. And you're going, wait a minute, I've lived there for 30 years. I've never seen that image. But if you start to look for that, like, look at this Shelby Cobra. You look at that car and you go, that's beautiful. And then you find out the story behind the car and it becomes more beautiful. And then you talk to some person who's never heard of Carroll Shelby, has never seen a beautiful car like this, and you start to tell him about it, and he goes, can I get one of those? And that is the secret of sales. Because everybody wants something a little bit better in their life. I mean, even if you buy a Mercedes and you just want it to run right, because every once in a while you get a Mercedes and you buy it brand new and it doesn't really run right from the day you bought it. And sometimes it takes a master mechanic to go in there and go, oh, some guy, he can even envision the place. He says, some guy didn't tighten this one nut down in the middle of the engine. And you've seen this before because you're a master mechanic. And you go in there and you turn that thing a quarter turn, and the customer goes, Dave, you're a god. How did you do that? Now it runs like I dreamed it would run. So when you talk about these higher principles, no matter what you do, like I was thinking, oh, Randy, I'd love to come talk to a bunch of car mechanics because this is my family. I mean, my grandpa worked for Chrysler for 30 years. My uncles worked for Chrysler for 30 years. My brother worked for Chrysler for 30 years. My brother-in-law works for Ford, so there's been a little, but we love him too. And of course, Ford, did race the Shelby and win. This is a very short chapter. It's less than 2 pages long. But it's just to make you look at, if you're going to be in sales, why not reach to a higher ideal? When someone comes in to get their car fixed, and it's not like, okay, good, it's going to be $50 to take the radiator out and replace it. And you look at this and you go, I can make this better than it is. Like I can put my love of automobiles into this car, so the customer goes, you gave me more than I was expecting. I feel better having come here to this place. I didn't expect to feel better. I just wanted my radiator fixed. And when you have this data and when you have this and you put this into people, because I sell electricity, like you got to have electricity. That's what my company does for 22 years. We just sell electricity. And people are, how do you do that? I bring packages of electricity? No. I mean, we just broker deals between people who never see where it comes from and where it's going. And we try to create customer relationships so that people keep coming back to us because they trust us. We go a little bit above and beyond. Our customer service is a touch better than everybody else. Like, you don't have to be a lot better, you just have to be better than everybody else. See? Everybody goes, oh, that sounds good. I've had 2 Maserati Gran Turismos. Best, for me, that's the best engine sound in the world. It's the notes, like you get in, when you turn on the car, when you get in the car you love and you turn it on and your heart goes, I mean, that's beauty, right? There's a beauty to that. There's a beauty to bringing such a beautiful car to life and then giving it to someone and then, saying, okay, now remember, it likes to do this and it likes to do that. You gotta, be easy on this, and you kind of give him a couple of little secrets. Now, whether he does that or not, or remembers, you still know that you gave a beautiful package to somebody to drive away. And that is what makes our life more fun. It makes your life, like every day you got to wake up and do something. Well, hopefully you wake up and do something you like, right? And now you imbue the rest of it, you imbue that daily activity with a higher sense of purpose and duty and beauty. Now, we're a bunch of guys. What's beauty got to do with anything? Come on, you tell me that's not beautiful? That's not beautiful? I mean, what year is this? The Mercedes? 89. 89? Damn, I'm getting really old. So, and for you guys, it's not a matter of can you force a customer to pay you more money for a job? No, it's how do you present the problem of a car to a customer that says, well, I only have enough money for $50 worth of work. And you're going, okay. Okay, and you go, well, you start there. And you say, that's good. But let me go over a couple things. Now, I can fix one thing for 50 bucks, and I'll do it, and it'll be the best fix. But these other 6 things are going to irritate you. Let me explain why. And you just explain to them, and you always leave it to the customer's choice. If you choose to do anything else now, it's okay. If you don't choose to do it now, it's okay. And you never get heartburn. But don't ever not tell the customer the truth about what's wrong with his car because he said he can't afford it. You say, okay, that's my starting point. I can't afford nothing. And then you show them this and you show them that and you say, now look, it'll sound better, it'll feel better, it'll run better. And then here's the problem. He goes, okay, you know what, I had some emergency money I was saving for ice cream and cakes, but I can put it into my car. Now, boy, it better do what you said, right? You better not oversell them. Don't promise more than you can deliver. Promise a little bit less than you can deliver because that extra makes a person feel so much better about you. So, yeah, performance, you said it was going to do this and it does a little bit more. I try. But that's part of the promise and deliver theory, right? Promise a little bit less than you can do and then deliver more than what you promised. And then you have people that are thinking good thoughts about you and then they tell their friends, and that's the beauty of selling this way. They then tell their friends, I trust Dave, I trust David, I trust Randy, I trust Tony, I trust these guys because I went in there and I was a little afraid because you know what the car guys do to you. You know what happens to mechanics? They're all a bunch of liars and thieves, just like those salesmen. And, well, that's what society says because of a couple of bad people. So you just got to be a better example than anybody else. And when you do this, people will gladly pay. They'll never argue about paying for you. And they refer their friends, which is a lot more business. So we got to take every little benefit of life that we get thrown at us and then make it a little bit better. So even now when people are scared and everything else, you do such a good job that people talk about you and they talk about how great this place is and it just makes you busier. And of course, if you're busier, you should make more money. And if you guys increase everything, I don't know how it works here in bonuses and stuff, but I'm sure if you do more, you get paid more, right? Okay, good. So that is another key balance. Hey, Randy, shit, I can't believe I invited Jim. No, I know Randy. So thank you for listening to me. I hope you read the book and like it. I hope it helps you see more things that you could do. And I'll tell you, it's the little things that you do in life that make a huge difference. It really does. This is true. And you can change someone's life just by doing something more than they expected. And you can change their whole opinion of a whole class of people. So I've been a salesman for over 30 years, and I've had a great time. I've had a blast, and I love sharing my successes with people so that they can have fun too. So thanks for listening to me. I don't want to go over my 10 minutes. I probably did, but anyway, thank you guys very much.